the Savvy Kitchen. I'm Sarah Mogol. Why I call it the Savvy Kitchen is because we're going to be doing a lot of things to make one beautiful result that you can take in 3 to 4, if not 5 different directions. So being savvy is being smart with what you have. First, I'm going to start with a crust for their black bean tart, but it's not just any black bean tart crust. It's going to have chili, cumin, and paprika in it, and it's going to have a lot of flavor and color and zest. We're going to start with a very simple, basic pie dough, basically. It's a pot brise, and we're going to cut up 1 stick of chilled butter, put it in with 1.5 cups of flour, put that in our food processor. Going to take a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of paprika for some color, and a dash of cayenne for a little heat. We're going to put in about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of kosher salt. You don't have to be as precise on that. You don't want to go over a teaspoon though, it'll be too much. So first I'm going to just get that in the food processor, combine the flour with the butter and all the spices. And now that looks like a nice crumble in there. And so now to bring the whole thing together, I'm going to put in a little ice water. You need about about a 1/4 cup. And you can play that by ear. I'd start with about 2 tablespoons at a time because as we all know, you can add more, you can't take water away from a dough. So this is coming together very nicely. We don't want it to be completely together. And I'm going to put that dough, I've made a little bit of room here, in my work bowl. This already has a great smell with the cumin and the paprika. Okay, see that's coming together really nicely. What I love about this dough is that you don't have to be a grand pastry chef to get this thing to look great. The first trick to any pie dough, I would say, or with a tart with a removable pan, is that you want to start with the corners. This kind of anchors the bottom into the sides. This is going to be a dish that is going to impress everybody who you serve it to because it looks pretty fantastic. So the first thing I'm going to do is just press it, no rolling. You don't even have to chill this dough first. We're going to chill it afterwards, but you can just get back to your own business while you're doing it. So first we're just going to press that in, and then you just use your fingers. And what's nice about this dough, you can see there's no residue on my fingers. It's nice and smooth, and it's not too tacky, which is what we're looking for. So with the miracle of editing, we're going to put that one aside, and I'm going to show you, you put this in the freezer, I put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes to put it in the oven. You can put a piece of wax paper. I have these great baking beads. They just go right in, they hold everything in place, and there we have our beautiful tart crust. Now, don't worry about that it's a little cracked right there because we're going to be covering it up. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. First thing, now we've got our pie crust. I'm going to heat up a pan. We're going to saute some oil and a little bit of garlic with the corn. I'll show you this in a minute. So I've got the pan heating. While that's heating, I want to just show you one more little trick. I've got these beautiful little mini tart shells right now, and what we're going to do is be able to fill those, and then you're going to have an appetizer. What's fantastic about this is that you can do these tart shells a week ahead of time before you're about to entertain, and then this is the most labor-intensive part. It's over, and then you can do the rest of it later. So I'm going to take a little mini muffin tin, because if you don't have a big tart pan, which a lot of people don't, most people have a muffin tin or a mini muffin tin, and I'm just going to press this in. You want a ball, like a little smaller than a golf ball, and you could just press this around. This is fantastic to do with kids. It's, as I said, very, very easy to do, and there's almost no skill involved, believe me. So then you just take it like this, and then take 2 fingers, put it in your pan, and press down, and then you get this beautiful flower shape, just like that. And it's easy, right before you serve them, you can hold them together, and you can peel off the paper. And you just be careful around the little ridges inside, but you have a beautiful pastry tart floret right there. Well, I hear my oil's going right now, so what I'm going to do is go over here. I'm going to take some corn, you can do fresh corn, or actually frozen corn works just as well. And the beauty about this dish is you don't even have to defrost it first. You just can put it in the hot pan, a little sauteing, a little sea salt, a little black pepper, and it already smells fantastic. This by itself is a wonderful side dish. So there we go. Already cooked, smells fantastic. I'm gonna put it back in the bowl, let it cool down just a little bit. Now I'm gonna go back over here, put together the other components real fast. And I'm gonna make my black bean tart filling. Now, the bowl's not clean right now, but that's okay. It won't really affect anything. So what I'm gonna do, a little noisy, take about 2 cups of black beans out of the can, totally fine, rinse, drain, leave it alone. Put it right there, and then I'm going to take about a 1/4 cup, I prefer the light sour cream, and about a 1/4 cup of salsa, and you can add some fresh cilantro, and if you don't care for cilantro, you can just use a little parsley, but you want a little green, you want a little bit of the brightness that comes along with the fresh herbs. So right in the food processor, and this, 2 seconds, it's fantastic as a dip, as a side dish, and done. Okay, right in there, and then we're going to take a scoop of this, and I'm going to place it right inside the tart. So far, not the most gorgeous thing, but it is smelling good, because what we're going to do is that this is going to be a delicious grounding glue, basically, for the black bean and fresh corn salsa that we're going to put on top of this. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to cover the whole bottom there. And this is why it doesn't have to be so beautiful and perfect, because now it's all covered up. Oh, voila, perfection. So, right now I've got my black beans, I've got my corn. I'm going to take about another about 2 cups. It's like almost like an equal proportion right here. I'm going to toss my black bean with my corn together. So we're talking about already a beautiful, vibrant color combination. And then I've got my diced orange and red pepper. And what I like to do is when I'm slicing these, because this is kind of a dish that has some moisture and I want to bake it in the tart, the heat is going to release more moisture. So what I do is after I've chopped my pieces of pepper, I put them in a clean towel. You can use paper towel, absolutely. And then you just want to block them off to get the excess moisture off, which is also why you want a smaller chop, because the bigger piece will retain more moisture. So, and it's also nice to have some symmetry to the other sides of the beans and the corn. So you kind of want to use that as your guide for cutting your peppers. Put those in. You can use any color. You can use green. This is a point at which if you like a little more heat in something, you can put a little jalapeno, chopped up, watch the seeds though, and then we're going to put that in. Now you can use any cheese. You can use a Monterey Jack, you can use a Manchego, a cheddar, you name it, it's yours. But I actually really, really enjoy the queso fresco with this. So I'm going to crumble a little bit of queso fresco, and this is going to melt and add a really lovely component of creaminess to this dish as well. And get that in there. I'm going to add a little bit more of my fresh cilantro into there. And look at this is already beautiful. Frankly, you could serve this as a salad on its own. This is what I'm talking about, the Savvy Kitchen. You already now have a salad, you've got a black bean tart, you have a dip, you have a side dish with the corn. There's a lot of places you can take this dish. And when you do take it somewhere, everyone's going to be bowled over. So there we go. Place that in. And then you can stick this in the oven. You want this in about a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes, just enough to melt the cheese. Everything's mostly baked. There's nothing raw in this. And you could even serve it like this if you wanted to, but I like it to be a little warm. So in the oven it goes. And I want to thank you for coming to visit me in the Savvy Kitchen today. I hope you enjoy everything we've done and you enjoy it for you and your family for a long time to come.